Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Shaka. I hope everybody had a fabulous Christmas. I am Dr. Blissful, and today I am blissful with gratitude. So, again, I hope everyone had a fabulous holiday, whether it was Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, or nothing. I just hope that you are enjoying your last weeks of December and ready to ring in a new year. This is just my second video, and again, the purpose of this video is to educate you, keep your kiddos busy with reading foundation and skills so that they're not driving you crazy as they're off this holiday season. Before we begin, I kind of wanted to share some things with you. I was giving away my ornaments to my daughter because she doesn't have very much, and she's realizing as a young adult in her own home, well, Christmas ornaments are expensive, you know, furniture and all those cute things that we have in the house are expensive. So I was giving away stuff, and as I was going through my treasure chest of Christmas activities, I found these cute little ornaments that have been given to me over the years. What does that say? It says terrific teacher. I didn't label this one, but it is from Christmas 1991. So I'm totally aging myself. This one says Merry Christmas to a special teacher, and it's from Jonathan in 1999. So yeah, I've been around for a minute, okay? One thing that I've noticed about children, my husband and I were at the beach and just walking around and watching and observing kids play, and there were a couple of kids that were just lathered in sand because it had just rained here in Seal Beach, California, and so the sand was a little more mushy than usual, and these girls were just having the time of their lives, like masking all their legs and just being slathered in sand. And I told my husband, oh, yeah, it's a really good way to have a cheap mud mask, right? It's a sand, Steel Beach sand mask. And he said to me, when does that stop for, for kids? Like, when does that not become okay to do as a child? And I said, that's a really good question. I said, as a teacher, I always thought that when the kids are running, the bell rings, they run to the line. It's lunchtime, they're running to lunch, they're running to the field, they're running to the playground, whatever it is, they're running. And we're always, as teachers, like, slow down, blowing our whistles, it's always slow down, calm down, and all these things. And I always thought to myself, when do they stop running to the line? When do they stop running to lunch? When does the excitement of running cease? And I just think it's really sad. I mean, as teachers, I understand there's rules and regulations. We can't have herds of kids running because they're going to get injured. But, taking that spontaneity out of children is really kind of sad. And I've always hated that about teaching, that there's just so many rules and regulations that it just kind of took the fun out of it. It's like, so when I took my kids out to recess and whatnot, and I'm like, all right, go get a drink, and they run, I wouldn't say anything because they're children. And I think it's awesome that they run to get a drink or they run to get the balls or whatever. And then it just kind of stops. And I think because we just like pounded in them so long that they just kind of almost become brainwashed, right? So if you have young children, obviously we need to set boundaries. If we're at a restaurant that's inappropriate, obviously certain things that, I mean, I remember going to Disneyland and when they cut the rope, like running like a psycho as an adult. And they're, the workers there, slow down, relax and all this, but it's excitement and it's fun. And, to constantly take that joy away from the kiddos is just really sad. And the more that I think about it, not me personally, because I kind of did my own thing, which is why I was always in trouble. But I just wanted school to be a fun and I wanted it to be a safe place to learn. And so, if you have any suggestions or ideas on how we can really change that philosophy so that students stay in that moment and just really enjoy life, let me know so we can discuss it more in an open forum and maybe make some positive changes in the schoolyard. Okay, so that's my tidbit for the day. It's for us to think about. Yesterday, or rather the day before, my first video, we talked about sight words and how it's important to make sure that when you're doing your sight words, you're stamping all the way around so that you make sure that your kiddos are really internalizing the word. The next thing you want to do is on the back, you want to have them dictate a sentence to you. So I've gone ahead and do this, and I put mommy and me made cookies, and then I put a period, and then I underlined the word and, which is that sight word, and you have them read it. If you can also put it, and we'll talk about it more, but you could also get like a big, not workbook. What am I thinking? Notepad, notebook, and write the sentence there on their notebook and then have them trace. So you always want to use thick markers, which I don't have, I apologize, to write their sentence really big, depending on the age. If they're 4, the font's going to be bigger. If your kid is older, 8 years old, is still struggling, you're going to make it a little bit smaller and then have them trace over your marker with a pencil, ensuring that they are holding the pencil right. I see some weird stuff going on. I see this, I've seen this. It's like, it really is just startling. It's really the kindergarten pre-K teacher's job to make sure that the students are holding the pen right and really building those fine motor skills is what we call these fine motor skills. Because you can't manipulate. I guess I can say, but I've seen, different things and whatever works for them. But as you get into handwriting, it makes it more difficult. And we'll talk about handwriting a little bit later, but the governor just passed that handwriting is now mandated. I think grades pre-K through 12, 8. I'm not really sure. I'll definitely look it up and let you know about that. So, yes, so you want to have them create a sentence, and you don't create the sentence because that's going to determine whether your kiddo actually knows how to formulate a sentence. Let me give you an example. So here we have the word have, okay? And you'll say, okay, now tell me a sentence with the word have. And sometimes, depending on the age, it's really difficult for kids. So, for example, I'll just from experience, what I've had kids tell me. So they say, I had it to go to the store. Doesn't have the word have in it, does. And you'll notice that they say had it. Had it to go is a word that is used probably from 2 years old, 3 years old, to maybe first grade, maybe the beginning of second grade. So for the purposes of this lesson, you want to write exactly what the child says in their own natural language. Don't fix it. Don't say, oh, it's have to go. It's I had it to go to the store. You write it that way for the purposes of this lesson. Then you say, okay, you didn't really give me a sentence with have. Can you try again? So you write, I have food. So we're going to go ahead and underline have, as you've noticed here. And then we're going to go ahead and transfer this sentence in marker to their notebook where they're going to trace and they're going to repeat their sentence. We'll talk more about why that's important using their own natural language. We really want to develop that self-confidence. If you are constantly correcting them, then it's not fun. So you want to keep it light and you want to encourage that self-esteem. And you're not going to do that if you're constantly correcting them. I'm like, who wants to constantly be corrected, right? When they're learning something new. I know I don't. It's like it kind of is like a damner. So always keep that in mind. That's all I have for today, short and sweet. Again, I will be posting more videos. I am going to get on the standards so we could talk about aligning the lessons with the standards, and I'll put them in the video down below. I'm still learning this form. I'm used to Zoom and Google Meets, so I'm not used to how the YouTube channel works. So anyhow, I hope you have a wonderful day, Shaka, and we will see you again soon. Okay, bye.